Welcome back, beautiful people. I'm your girl Ziggy, and this is the Ziggy Zone. Before I get started with my week 8 predictions, I am not naked. I do have on a top. It's just the style of the top. Okay? So clear your minds and let's get started with some real action. On Thursday night, the Miami Dolphins will lose to the New England Patriots. I don't think that Miami or anyone in America thinks that Miami has a chance to win against the Patriots. The Patriots, they're on a mission, perhaps a second Super Bowl run, but we'll see. Tonight, it'll be a snooze fest just because New England will win. Convincingly, by the way. On Sunday, not the New England Lions, the Detroit Lions take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City won last week. I think that was great momentum for them. And I think they'll go ahead and get a second consecutive win, toppling the Lions. The Falcons will take on division rivals Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, the Falcons will probably win that one as well. The Arizona Cardinals literally will trample the Cleveland Browns. That defense will run over Cleveland, back up over them, and run over them again. So yeah, we don't have to really worry too much about that game. It won't be a snoozer, but it just won't be action packed. And then we have next the San Francisco 49ers and the St. Louis Rams. People, by now you should know. I'm going to choose the 49ers over the Rams. I am. You also should know I will not be surprised if the 49ers don't win. But hey, it is what it is. Niner Nation, when you're faithful, you never bet against the home team. Ever. Then next up, we have the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. These two teams, they're floating in the middle somewhere. They're not doing overwhelmingly well. They're not doing terrible. So really I think that this Breeze and Manning matchup will be a good one to watch. New York, when they have it, both New York and New Orleans, they struggle with the same thing. When the offense is clicking, it's clicking. But when it's not, it's bad. In this matchup, I'm going to give the edge over to New Orleans, just because there's no real indicator or indication. Jason Paul Pierce, fingerless man, is back, but I don't know if he's playing. He won't make that much of an impact. I'm just saying that to let you all know, really. So in the Giants and Saints, I'm going with the Saints. The Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Chicago Bears. And I just like Minnesota. They're a team, they're just floating by. They're not doing bad. They're actually, they've been winning. Chicago, they started to win. They've won a couple of games in the last few weeks. But I feel like I like Minnesota a little bit better. Feel like their defense has a slight edge over Chicago's. And then we have the Chargers and the Ravens. And the Ravens are just a completely different team from what we know them as. And they are on they're coming to the West Coast, or they're playing West Coast teams. So they played the 49ers 2 weeks ago. They played Arizona last week. They're playing the Chargers this week. And I like to say that these West Coast teams, they're giving Baltimore a run for their money. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. You got to do Cali United. And then we have, the next game is definitely a game where the action will be. And I'm really excited for this game, but it is out of my network, so I probably will not be able to see it live. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not really sure what's that quarterback situation looking like over in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati is still undefeated. But Pittsburgh is not a sleeper team. Like, Pittsburgh can show up, and they can definitely give Cincinnati a run for their money. I think that game is one, if it's in your network, to watch, because it'll go down to the last minutes. Like this is probably one of the only games that I feel like will go to like the last, you know, 2 minutes. Like within the 2 minute warning, we're like, oh, we can go either way. Of course, I really appreciate Cincinnati and what they're doing up there, and so I sort of want them to win. So I'm going to give the win over to Cincinnati Bengals, Andy Dalton, Marvin Lewis, that AJ guy. So yeah, good luck to them. I hope they win. The next game, the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. One team is 1-5. The other team I think is 2-5 or something like that. Both Tennessee started out promising, like you just thought, oh, this is a good team, they should be all right. And Houston just recently fired or released backup quarterback Ryan Mallett. So Houston, they're like, I think their management's like, listen, we were a good team. You know, we were in the playoffs some years ago. Why aren't we winning? If you're not contributing to us, if you're a distraction for us, you can go. So I think that sort of lit the fire under the players' tails. And I think that the Texans will actually get the win. They have a different set of motivators leading into that game than Tennessee does. The New York Jets will be heading to Oakland to take on the Raiders. And the Raiders, like I said this early on, they're balling. You know, they have a nice little squad over there. And so I'm going to select the Raiders. You know, they're the other Bay Area's team. So, you know, why not? I typically want them to win. They usually don't. This time around, I want them to win, and they have a better chance of actually doing that. So big ups to them. The Seattle Seahawks will take on the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dez Bryant may return. I mean, there's a lot going on down in Dallas. Who knows what's happening with those players? I just think that the Seahawks are a more rounded team and will be able to easily topple the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And then our Sunday night game, this is another must-see TV game. And that is the Green Bay Packers, undefeated, and the Denver Broncos, undefeated. Only one team will remain undefeated at the end of this game. I am so excited. You're talking about elite versus elite quarterbacks. Peyton, you know, he's been getting away with a lot of stuff. You know, he's up there in age. Denver's well coached, and Peyton, you know, he's seasoned enough where his mistakes haven't cost him yet. He can't do that against Green Bay. Aaron, again, elite, sort of in the prime, and I think Aaron's on a mission this year. The defense is better for Green Bay, so I mean, Peyton has to be on it. His O-line has to be on it, because if Green Bay, if they smell blood, it's over. And for that reason, I'm going with Green Bay, the youthful quarterback. I'm sorry, it's ageism, but it's also facts. And then our Monday night game, we have the Indianapolis Colts and the Carolina Panthers. And I'm underwhelmed by what's going on with the Colts, and we'll make it an easy. I think this is the Panthers. Did they play Monday night last week, or did they play Sunday night? I mean, the Panthers are getting a lot of primetime spots. Good for them. But the Panthers will win. I mean, Cam and those guys will need to get it together, because the Colts, if they spot a weakness, they can't exploit that. But I think the Carolina, they have enough. I believe they're still undefeated. They have enough to tighten it up and get the win. So that was my predictions. Those were my predictions. Feel free to like, share my video. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And also be sure to follow me on Periscope, Twitter, and Instagram, all at The Ziggy Zone.